The love I pray finds every man. Let's check it out.
If you had to define love, what would you say? People are obsessed with the idea of love, relationships, and having a romantic partner. But if you ask most people to describe what love is, they wouldn't know how to answer. They would most likely say that love is this feeling, that you know it when you have it. But if love is just this feeling that we can't define, how are we supposed to know and find it for ourselves? It wasn't until I watched Freerun that I finally understood what love is.
Bro had to watch an anime before realizing what love is. Okay, you know what? This might be another one of those videos today where it makes no sense. Okay, whatever.
And it's not what you expect. It's not about chasing, feeling good, or even about falling in love. Most people don't understand what love is and spend their whole lives chasing the wrong type of love. People chase beauty, excitement, status, and even trying to find someone.
Physical values. They don't go all the way to fulfillment. They don't go to what alleviates my pain and suffering, but not in a selfish way, but in a way that complements each other. They don't think of different types of people, like how people handle the other partner in the relationship. They don't understand like where their strengths and weaknesses are.
Exactly like them, and all of these are the wrong type of love. But Freerun made me understand what true love is. Stark and Fern's relationship isn't the love that you see anywhere else, but it's exactly the type of love every man needs. We've all struggled with love, with finding a partner, expressing ourselves, and figuring out what we need in a relationship. But when you see how Stark and Fern's relationship grows, you'll be able to understand not only what love looks like, but how to know when you have it in
Ah, yes, looking at an anime to know what love looks like. I know love because of what is that show? Toradora.
your life. We all want to be seen, to have someone recognize us for who we really are. We want our relationship to feel like a place where we can be vulnerable. We want someone to support us and feel safe for us to be around. But men aren't taught to be vulnerable in relationships. In fact, we're told the opposite constantly. Whether it's a girl we like telling us men don't cry, or that real men shouldn't complain about work, we're taught by the world
Get over it.
to hide our weaknesses. We're afraid of being truly honest to not only our partner, but even our friends and family. We're afraid of being judged and abandoned. That if they saw.
You know, unironically, society telling us to stop being a pussy is literally making us into a pussy. Because if you really think about it, if you're avoiding your problems instead of dealing with your problems head on, and every time you feel a headache, you're just going to go to vices, you're going to go to women, you're going to go to drugs, smoking, drinking, any relief to make yourself feel better, isn't that the sign of being weak in the first place? Like, not a sign that you need help, but a sign that your current life is not working properly. That's why we have change and tension. Maybe you want to better your life and the situation that you're in. Maybe you want to know who you are first before you date somebody. Maybe none of that shit means anything to people nowadays, but
our weaknesses, they wouldn't want anything to do with us. But what we need isn't to hide our weaknesses from everyone, but find someone who sees.
Imagine hearing this content in Japan and Korea, like when they're watching these animes in those East Asian cultures, just get better. Mental illness is not a real thing.
These are weaknesses.
The way they view depression in Korea is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. And it seems like everyone has depression in America. It's a normalized thing.
And supports us in growing stronger. That's who we need. When Fern meets Stark, he's hiding in a village. He's afraid of being attacked by a dragon and pretends to be this courageous warrior, lying to everyone in the village.
So he's a LARPer.
Even though he puts on a strong face at first, he quickly drops the facade and admits that he's scared of fighting the dragon. Fern reacts as any woman would, seeing a man they just met break down and beg for help. But even still, she comforts him the night before the fight. She doesn't judge him for being afraid and even admits she was afraid herself when she first had to fight a monster. Fern sees how hard he's trained and she knows he isn't a man who would run away. Stark faces the dragon alone.
See how the woman, whenever they're trying to support the other person, it puts themselves in their shoes? It's all about perspective and empathy. Guys won't do that for other guys because, I mean, we just throw insults at each other and laugh it off. That's what we're just normally conditioned to do. But women do this to other women, so why don't we take what's working for them and apply it for our lives too? Like I said, we don't even need the therapist to interject in our lives. We can do this to ourselves. We can do this with the people around us. Be more supportive of each other. Come on now.
Even though he's terrified, overcoming his fear of it with her help, Stark isn't afraid to admit that he's a coward in the face of a strong enemy. but every time he still chooses to fight and never runs away. Fern calls him a coward, but she still believes in him and trusts him with her life. The only
That's why characters like God D. Usopp and Buggy D. Clown are my favorites of One Piece, because even if they're sorry as shit, they're at least playing into it.
able to trust each other is because they see each other for who they really are, all of their strengths and all of their weaknesses. They don't have to hide who they really are when they're with each other. That's because they need to know each other's weaknesses so they can protect them when they're weak, not judge and bully them for it. This
You gotta complement each other, obviously, because even the way you both handle love in a relationship together, if you both are avoidant and you both don't want to share or make that first step or initiate, then obviously that's not going to work, because you don't want to speak up, they don't want to speak up, then you'll just never get anything done. How did they even meet in the first place? Even like the way you feel love, attached to love, plays a factor in here. And so the ones that complement each other are the ones that make up their strengths for the other person's weaknesses.
level of honesty is the only real foundation you can build a loving relationship on. Without honesty and vulnerability, you can't ever trust.
Man, what is this channel even about anymore, man? Like, I'm trying to talk about stuff, you know what? We can sprinkle some entertaining videos here and there.
Or respect the person you're with. Without knowing their weaknesses, you will never truly understand them. We all want to be seen by our partner, to be loved for who we really are, despite our flaws. But how willing are we to show the side of ourselves that we're not proud of?
You know what? Truthfully, as long as it's not my personal identification, I'm going to share every single trauma, like learning lesson for you guys and girls to either understand and learn from. Take what works for me and apply it to your own life. And I think that's the beautiful thing with shared experiences, is that if I go through trauma, if I go through mistakes in life, and I'm able to be vulnerable and express that to you guys so that you can either avoid that same mistake or that you can learn from it in some way to avoid a similar thing from happening in the future, that's what we should do as a collective society, is helping each other, building each other up. And you can barely see that nowadays because everyone just highlights all the good things that everyone does. But I don't give a fuck about the good things anymore. I care about what mistakes should I avoid so that I can live the most fulfilling life that I want.
We willing to admit our insecurities, what we lack, and what we need from our partner? We're afraid that if we show this side of ourselves, no one would want us, that we have to put on a mask so that they'll be attracted to us. But the real question
You know, the thing that hyper accelerates my level of thinking into metacognition is that my level of coping, if someone doubts me, then I try to prove them wrong, like an underdog mentality. But also, every time I see a coping mechanism or I try to deal with something, I just try to work 10 times as hard to get past the obstacle. And so the residue, like any other remaining like sparks that came from that experience of, like, even if I don't get past an obstacle, it's are still learning points in my life where I'm still trying to counteract anything bad that's happening in my life. I realize that I'm still getting benefits from it. So it's like I'm learning from my mistakes and I'm also thriving off of success. And so there's no real low point for me because I've already optimized both the good and the bad.
you need to ask yourself is, would you still be attracted to them if they showed you who they really were? Would you really want to be with someone who you didn't really know and constantly hid themselves? How
Hell no.
long could you be attracted to a mask they wore? Because once it comes off, you might.
That's why we gotta stop this people pleasing shit and just be authentically ourselves. Honestly, it's getting very hard to understand what. I'm not just saying it's women, obviously, but it is getting very hard to understand what people even truly feel anymore with this instant gratification society, dopamine rushes everywhere.
Realize you never liked them and you just liked the way they looked or made you feel. And here's the thing we all get wrong about attraction, especially as men. Attraction isn't just about looks or about how they make us feel butterflies in our stomach. We think we like someone when they make us feel happy and we want to spend every exciting moment with them. When really, attraction is a lot deeper than just about enjoying the good times. The biggest sign of attraction is how much quality time
Don't get baited by them appreciating you or them trying to be friendly to you and then thinking that they like you or something.
you spend with someone, especially when that time is spent doing boring things. Whether it's going shopping, doing small chores, picking gifts, or even doing nothing together, Stark and Fern make the most out of every opportunity together. when they're both stuck playing the role of a lord and lady for over a
That actually might be something that is actually interesting, like in a relationship. You definitely want someone that you can enjoy their company 24/7, like even just doing mundane shit.
month, something that they had to do purely for money to fuel their adventure. Neither of them wanted to do it, and you can see them both hating it. But when it comes time for the ball, they choose to dance with each other. Stark says it would be a waste not to dance after all the work they put in. Even though both of them were forced to train, they weren't forced to dance with each other. This dance is more than just about them putting their fancy feet to good use. It's about them enjoying this moment together. Even in a situation when they're both unhappy, they find joy in each other's company. That one sentence captures a lot of their time traveling together. They are constantly being pulled into doing side quests they would never want to do, being snowed in or stuck in a village, but they always value the time they spend together. But if Stark hid his true self and feelings, he would never know if Fern wanted to spend time with him because of how he acted strong or because she genuinely enjoys his company. Frieren as a show focuses on small moments that would normally be skipped in any other anime.
The one thing that this is teaching me is just try new opportunities, experience new things. Like, what is stopping you from doing that? Yourself or the people around you?
Giving the weight of an entire episode to something as small as picking out a birthday present. But these small moments are big.
This is slice of life. I thought it was. Man, I don't know what the hell this is, but I heard Free One is good.
Big opportunities for connection. In our lives, we can be so focused on chasing excitement and milestones that we forget about the beauty that exists in the small moments of connection. Everyone is excited for the first time they get into a relationship, but we rarely think about how we will celebrate their birthday 5 years from now and how to still make that moment as special as the first. That's what it means to be wanted and to be attracted to someone. To spend the boring small moments together with someone who you truly know and understand. Even though Fern can be strict and Stark can be a coward, they show these parts of themselves that are less than perfect so they can understand each other. When we imagine an ideal relationship, we think about all the good times we'll have. The dates we'll go on, the laughs we'll share, and the love we'll have for them. But our partner isn't only the person we go through the good times with. When we choose our person, we're choosing who we will fight with, get annoyed at, and struggle through all of life with. Stark and Fern go through everything on their adventure together. They kill demons, they share meals, they explore dungeons, and they argue with each other. From all the highs to all the lows. They choose to still stick together no matter what. Relationships work out the same way. We're choosing our partner for the adventure that will go on in life. If this is the case, of course we would want to pick someone who would have our back and we would have theirs no matter what. Stark and Fern have their fights. Multiple times during the show, they won't talk to each other because of something the other said or did. Fern gets upset when she thinks Stark forgets her birthday and is being inconsiderate when he didn't get her a gift. But really, Stark just wanted to pick out her birthday gift together. They both apologize and understand each other a little bit better, and then 2 episodes after, they have another fight, going through the cycle of anger and understanding all over again. It's normal when you spend so much time with someone that you'll fight. After all, we don't fight about people we don't care about. We fight with those closest to us because we care about what they think. The fights between Stark and Fern are never about who's right and who's wrong. After all, they don't want to fight. They want to understand each other. This part of love is something that we forget. We're picking who we will go through these fights and struggles with, and we need to pick someone we can trust, not someone who will just tell us how wrong we are and will always be arguing over the smallest things. If we got sick, lost our job, or were feeling depressed, would our partner still be there for us? Would they protect us? Would they help us get back up on our feet? Would we do the same for them? It can be scary to be alone, to be vulnerable and share our weaknesses and insecurities with our partner. But it's even scarier to be with someone you can't trust to have your back.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. It's even scarier to not know what their insecurities and stuff are, because the farther down the line you go, the more attached you get. Now you don't know anything about them. They're only showing you what they want to show you. Then that ain't it, Chief.
Key here is switching your mindset from thinking that when you're trying to look for a partner or you're trying to build love in general, that you have to think about the good times, that if you're not enjoying yourself with your partner, then they're a bad match for you. Obviously, you have to enjoy
Bro talks like an anime character. He should be a voice actor.
your time with them and have similar values and hobbies and all of that. But I think the real test of if a relationship is right for you and if they're able to provide the love that you need as a man is if you're able to endure the hard times together, because that's how love is really tested. Because you can enjoy your time with probably anyone if you're in a good mood and you're in the right place. But how many people are you willing to
As long as you lobotomize yourself, go drinking, go partying, nightclubs, yeah, you can definitely enjoy your time with anyone, even a homeless person.
suffer through all of the hardships, all of the struggles of life with? That's the real test of if the relationship will last, but also if that person has your back. Because in those moments when life sucks and
Didn't he already say this point? But anyway.
you're really struggling, you're going to be vulnerable. It's just natural that the mask that you've been wearing will fall off eventually, and they will see you for who you really
I won't say I'm the best at emotional intelligence. Definitely think I got pretty good at it. But when you're good at emotional intelligence and picking up body language and behaviors and understanding, interpreting somebody, I'm not trying to say like make assumptions about them, but like by their personality, their character, how they act in front of others. Once you start picking up these pieces without like just from observation, you start realizing like you know a lot more about them, that like what he was saying, you can't put a mask up forever. It's kind of easy to tell for some people nowadays, because I genuinely do think society is pretty shallow. And if you watch my mind video, that's why society revolves around physical and emotional layers, is because we want to avoid the headaches, we want to reach for all the coping mechanisms, devices, not devices, the vices, but yeah, devices too. It just makes us more numb, desensitized to everything, instead of knowing what our true feelings are and what we actually value in life. And so it's becoming almost impossible. And it's going to be one of my future videos, obviously, about the dating market, but that's going to be a topic for another day. I just thought this video was pretty good.
are, and you'll see them for who they really are. And especially you'll see how you deal with these stressful situations together. And if you can't get through those times, then it's just a sign that the relationship just isn't going to work out. But if the relationship is more like Stark and Fern, where you are working together to get out of the situation and see what both of you need to do, then the relationship is going to be strong and love is going to build as just a natural fact that you can go through these struggles together.
As much as Freerun is a show about a party of heroes going on an adventure, it's also about understanding relationships and needing each other. Ark was trapped in the village for 3 whole years because he was too afraid to fight the dragon. It wasn't until Fern told him she trusted he wouldn't run away that he was able to steel his resolve and fight the dragon. He made more progress in 1 day than he did in 3 years because he had someone who supported and believed in him. Love can be
I'm not going to judge a book by its cover, but since Mark said this was peak, from what I've seen, this kind of looks mid. It's like a slice of life fantasy.
tricky to understand, but in its purest form, love is something that helps you and the person you're with ultimately grow kinder, stronger, and become the best that you both can
Is she a lowly or something? Like I don't even know if this like am I gonna be caught and canceled?
possibly be. Every fight with who you love should lead to a deeper understanding. Every hardship you guys overcome should strengthen your trust in each other. And every memory should make the time you spend together sweeter. Love is like the
Not
soil a
lowly.
flower is planted in. If the soil is barren, then love will wither and die. Sometimes we choose barren soil because we don't know what healthy soil looks like. We choose a partner we can't trust or respect because we just don't want to be alone. But chasing the
Yeah, this society has been very selfish because they're lonely, but they're not realizing why they are lonely in the first place. And they're trying to kind of project their feelings on others and then ruining other people. And then the more they do that, they ruin the whole pool and the cycle continues.
wrong partner and the wrong forms of love where you have to hide your weaknesses and real self will only do more.
My question is, when I first started college, I was like, when do people ever develop themselves? Because if they're constantly looking for other people for validation, then when in life do they ever get a chance to look back on themselves? Like, seriously, they go through high school, maybe dating someone, then go through college, maybe dating someone and going through school, and then they go to the real world and they have a job, and now they're paying off this debt, maybe even working paycheck to paycheck. But even if you aren't, when are you doing any internal development until you were successful and now you're looking back? but you are not even equipped to understand what internal development looks like besides shallow values. And the reason I'm saying shallow values is not to trigger anybody. It's just that when you see what's truly valuable in this world, it is not the money, wealth, fame, status, all these things that everyone is chasing. I wonder if anyone gets this, what I'm talking about.
Damage to you than being alone ever could. Finding someone to support you, trust you, and go on this adventure of life together is not easy. But then again, if it was easy, then it wouldn't be as valuable as it is when we find the right person. And we'll know we have
I can't be on board with that anymore because of OnlyFans, but we keep it pushing.
found the right person for us if we have someone who will help us grow more than we ever could have alone, and who we also want to help grow stronger. I asked you at the start of this video, if you had to define love, what would you say? Maybe even now, you're still unsure about how you would answer, but after
Love is very complex. Like, I can't even just give a one sentence answer. There's just the first thing that does come to mind is I have your back, you have mine. But obviously, that's not all love is. It's more about like the loyalty aspect I care about the most, because you can always just leave, and being consistent with each other is probably the most hardest part. And there are going to be things you don't like about the other person, but it's like what makes you gravitate towards that person every day.
watching Freeran and seeing Fern and Stark's relationship grow, I would say that love is offering yourself to the physical, emotional, and spiritual growth of another person.
My video was literally about physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. He just forgot the mental part.
This can only happen when you have honesty, trust, attraction, and know you're both going on an adventure together, not against each other. Men are taught in life that love is a fight, that we have to chase after a girl, that marriages lead to trouble, and we're told to be cynical about relationships. But this comes from chasing the wrong type of love. Freeran might be a fictional story, but its characters are most definitely real. For all of Stark's power as a warrior and Fern's strength as a mage, the two of them struggle with understanding relationships. We see them fight, argue,
I thought the main character was that other elf. I'm so confused. Who even are these two?
and get confused about how to express their feelings to each other. They are both powerful warriors, but they're also very awkward people who sometimes don't know how to connect to each other. But even still, when they misunderstand or are annoyed, they never try to hurt each other. They just want to understand where they went wrong and how they can improve. It's easier than ever for men to be lost, confused, and hide in a village for years, afraid of facing their dragons. Men need love and support if they're to become someone who can fight the dragons in their lives. Without this, we can be like Stark and wait in the village for years, maybe even our whole lives, too afraid of failing and taking a step forward. But having someone with you who believes in you, puts their faith in you, and walks side by side with you, that can make you grow into a stronger man more than you ever could have if you were alone. And this is a type of love I hope every man finds. Thanks for watching this video. If you're interested about love, let me know what your perspective is. Love is something that I think that all men really want to have in their lives, but struggle with finding. And it's conversations like this that I really enjoy having so that I can connect with more guys that have struggled through their love life and their understanding of relationships. So if you're interested, check the video on your right and comment down below to let me know if there's any other topics about love that you would like for me to talk about.
Honestly, I think he overhyped their love in this video, but I do get the point that he's talking about. Yeah, this is definitely not a topic I covered yet in my videos, so it feels weird to post earlier, but whenever I do post it, I'll definitely make it obvious that I'm talking about a situation like this. The main thing definitely is being there for one another. Like, that definitely is... seems like a more obvious answer, but one that you take for granted, I would say. Overall, I enjoyed this video. The link for the original video will be in the description below. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Peace. If you want a place to reflect, ask questions, share ideas, or talk with people who are trying to live their life intentionally, you can join my Discord server in the description below.